Hey, everybody. Happy Saturday. Thanks for stopping by the old Curmudgeon's Corner. We have a super fantastic special guest, a very dear friend of mine, waiting backstage for us. Eileen is going to be running a little bit late today. She is always working like crazy. So she said she'll be here in about 20 minutes. So until then, you're just going to have to put up with me and my guest until the rock star gets here. Just wanted to take a few minutes to say thanks to everybody for tuning in. It is a Saturday night. You could be anywhere in the universe doing something other than this, and you chose to hang out with us. So I really appreciate it. We have a lot of really cool people. Mary, Hawaii Tim, David Boyce, Elias in the house, and Rick Smith and Keith Firebird, as always supporting the channel. Humberto's in the house. We're gonna circle back around to Humberto in a little bit. That guy is just an incredible human being, and I can't wait to talk about him in a minute. Life of Brian, how are you? Masters of the Shine, thanks for showing up. Kimberly Mick, David Rules, Brian Mayhall's in the house. Wow, we're gonna have the entire Apex hanging out in the Curmudgeon's Corner. That's kind of cool. So anyway, it's a Saturday, and I really appreciate you guys showing up. Looks like people are starting to really pour in, so that's awesome. I don't think that we need to do any kind of without further ado and all that stuff. I think we should just bring in the main man himself. Tonight, we have an absolutely phenomenal guest. Everybody and anybody in the detailing industry knows who he is. He is the godfather of all of us. He is our Yoda. We have learned so much from him. Every single Friday that I'm able to get up to his shop and we have lunch together, I am learning something from him. He's really been a great mentor, a great friend, promoter of Phoenix. He's got some fantastic things happening in his universe, and so I can't wait to have him come on and we'll just hang out like good friends should. As always, we have the apple juice in the house. And I hope it's going to be a nice evening. We can just chill out and do a nice fireside talk. All right. Without further ado, let's bring in the Godfather himself. Welcome, Brian. Welcome to the show.
Hey. What an intro.
Oh, buddy. It was so...
A little overboard.
It was so underwhelming of what you truly deserve. I mean, everything that you've done for Phoenix, even before... Phoenix was a concept. You were teaching me, supporting me, mentoring me. So I can't thank you enough. And you've been on the show twice now. First one was a really kind of a impromptu thing that we did for the Southern Detailers Conference. You came on the birthday show 2 weeks ago. But I finally got you on the show to do what we do best, which is the long format interview, kind of just chill out, hang out, talk, and interact with these fine people in the chat room. So
happy to be here.
I haven't seen you in 2 weeks. How was vacation?
Never long enough, but looking forward to the next one. Got to get away when you can. Work hard and we play hard in every facet
you definitely do. I tease you often. I'm like, you change cars more than I change underwear. Because you definitely play hard, but I know you work hard. I mean, you've worked.
Yes, and you can't take it with you. So enjoy your family, enjoy your friends, just enjoy life when you get a few minutes to do so. That's one recommendation I can pass on. Definitely.
Oh, it looks like attention to detail tried to call me a little bit ago, and I missed it. Sorry. Anyway, so. What are you up to this summer? What's happening? What's going
on? So this is probably a good section here.
Okay.
The summer's been busy, but it's been hectic in different ways. So normally we're hammered with one facet of detailing, and this year, and a lot of people bring it up and say it's because it's an election year, and I don't know what that means, but unstable is the best way to describe it. So 1 week we absolutely balls to the wall, crazy busy, and then the next week, just barely enough for the boys to have something to do. But with that and YouTube, it gives me a chance to pump out more videos and stay in contact and reach out with all those in the audience. And that's very important to me. I enjoy that so much.
So I got an email earlier this week from Apex Surface Protection, and there apparently you've added a family member to the operation. What's going on with that?
Yes, we are training Aaliyah, and she's very ambitious. So she started. She came on and started with the bottling and the labeling for the product line, and then when she's done with that, she comes out and she starts to detail. So we've been training her to do that, and paint protection, anything from just basic cleanings to paint protection film, and she's doing fantastic. I mean,
and she's interacting with your social a little bit, and she's doing she's heading up the emails and all that fun stuff. So she's kind of quasi office, quasi shop.
Yeah, and it frees me up to, as I mentioned all the time, so I have time to work on the business and not being a slave for the business.
Sure. I have to figure that out still myself.
It's tough. It really is.
So I don't know. Do you want to dive into that this early into the show, or do you want to? We can just talk about trivial stuff until Eileen gets here. But I do know that you have some pretty exciting news, and hopefully I'm not too far behind in the times. That might be even breaking news here on the Curmudgeon's Corner 32.
I'm game for anything. Absolutely anything.
So
congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. We are. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a challenge. So I don't want to step on any of Eileen's toes. She has a bunch of really cool questions, and I'm kind of scrolling through them real fast. Yeah, I would say that I'm going to save those questions for when she gets here, because I don't want to I don't want to step into her segment. It's really neat, and I appreciate her. So, sir, we will segue into talking about the BC line. So we have blue collar 1 through 8 currently, and from what I understand, there is a oh wow. Looks like Papa Smurf just joined us with a cannonball to the chats. Anyway, so tell me about the evolution of getting into the BC line. Before Phoenix was even born, you were you had your own little coating, and now it's kind of evolved into a whole ceramic line.
Yes, the co-op, you could call it, with Art to Shine was 1.5 years, and it was designed that way. And it was a way where I can step behind the curtain and be on that side of it for once, and kind of see what's going on, learn. And the reason behind that is I wanted to, I was never satisfied. There was a lot of great products out there, and I could have stuck with a product line and would have been completely happy, but never completely satisfied with what I wanted for the shop and what I wanted for my customers and what I wanted for my employees. And having that 1.5 year co-op with Art to Shine gave me a chance to, again, step behind the curtain and see everything from formulation to distribution and everything in between. And I'm so grateful for Art to Shine and that 1.5 years. Absolutely fantastic. Having access to their just sophisticated labs in Singapore and their personnel. I'm just very thankful. And because of that, then I got to kick off the training wheels and kick off the BC line. And all that did was give me further control and more ability to tweak things here and there quickly, really quickly, instead of waiting for things to go back and forth, which took time with such a distance.
Yeah, I remember you saying that the supply chain was probably your biggest aggravation.
Yeah, and waiting for things to get to me from such a long distance, and then there's communications having to go through many channels to tweak things and kind of change things up. But now it's instant, and again, this product line designed for the shop, my customers, and the employees, and I was more than happy to make them available for those who want to try them on their own. Never had plans. I still don't have plans to be, something like Gion or McGuire's or anything. But I'm more than happy to do whatever I can to supply anybody and everybody that wants to try them on their own.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, and I don't remember you ever having any kind of real desire to go into the whole like car soaps and like the stuff that I do. You had said that you definitely want to do bookends for ceramics, and that's I think that's ambitious in and of itself.
It is, because there's so many. I mean, that I haven't even touched upon: tire coatings, leather, proper trim. Just
Right.
so many to really bring onto the market. But there is so BC8. That was something I've been wanting to bring, but I wanted to get all the other heavy hitters out first, because BC8 was something that in the Gion Synchro, I believe it is, kit, there is something they call skin. And sometimes I skip that. And the one time I tried it and actually used it, I just loved how it was a complement to coatings, or even to be used by itself. And I thought, I want to do something like that and have my own version of that for the shop here, for in-house, and then the product line. And that's exactly how BC8 was born. And now,
Well, can I again? I don't want to be. I don't want to. When you launched BC8 here a couple of weeks ago, there was a lot of chat in the in the forums and whatnot. There that the verbiage read very similar to your BC2, and I was like, well, why don't we get Brian to come out and he can explain to you exactly what the main differences are.
I'm glad you asked. So BC8 and this next one coming out are both options to use in place of BC2 when we don't have it, and it's really tough to get in raw materials. Hey, I'm not a huge company, and when it comes to raw materials, those bigger companies that are buying in bulk, buying by the skid and the truckload, are always going to get their pick first. And if there's any left over for me, they'll reach out and send me some. But the BC8 is similar. It's solvent based. It's just the carrier and the way you get it on the panel are a little bit different, but you'll get the same results.
Okay.
And then that'll lead us into BC9.
Are we allowed to talk about BC9?
Yeah, whenever you're ready.
What's BC9? What is it?
I have one water-based product protectant, and of course that's BC3. And they're so easy. They last. They have an incredible shelf life, and they're easy to use, user-friendly, and they're.
Yeah, as long as you get the emulsifier levels correct.
Yeah. So BC9 is going to be a BC3 on steroids. So everything you get from BC3 with a month, 2 or 3, protection, you're going to get 9 months plus out of.
Holy moly!
So that is
a BC3 on steroids. You're tripling its abilities.
Yeah, and that was a request that users and customers had. And I pay attention and make notes when it comes to all requests, and I will try to honor them.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'd like to think that Phoenix does too. My question to you is, do you ever run into problems where like the products are overlapping with each other? So you're making BC9 as a steroided version of BC3. BC8 and BC2 are 1 year protection levels. Like, do you? They
are with 2 different types of carriers and 2 different types of application methods. Some are not comfortable with that coating type application coming off, out of a bottle onto a small applicator. Some would rather get that protection and those characteristics just from simply misting into a towel and wiping it on.
Okay.
Solvent-based products, the carrier allows the bond process to take a little bit better, just to simplify it, and it's a little bit more of a more substantial protectant. Solvent-based, water-based products, a little bit easier and has a broader range of people that can use them, is the best way I can put it.
Okay. Obviously, it's very successful, and you're doing what you're doing. So, like, what do you think it would? This is the number one question that I hate. So I'm going to do it to you because why not? You just launch a product, and they immediately go, "Well, then what's next?" And you're just like, "Hey, man, I just dropped this. Can you give me like 2 weeks to enjoy the fact that I just launched a new product?" I think it might be a little bit easier for you to answer this question than it is for me, because you're definitely very linear in your product line. What do you think is going to be like? What boxes do you want to check in the not too distant future?
The next one I want to try and tackle is a tire coating that actually lasts. Not many out there.
Exactly.
Not many out there at all.
This is don't mean to interrupt you, and I apologize, but this is a perfect segue. I guess on the birthday show, there was a discussion about tire dressings and tire shines, and Next Level was brought up. I think Papa Smurf fielded it, and Papa Smurf really likes the product, and apparently it got bashed a little bit. And I had never used it, and usually the way the Curmudgeon's Corner works is, and this is why Eileen is so fantastic. She's a detailer, so she can handle a lot of the technical questions and things of that nature. Papa Smurf, obviously, he's a detailer. He can handle a lot of the technical questions. And so when you guys start talking that kind of shop, I can kind of tune into the chats. So I'm not really paying attention to what you guys are discussing, so that I can interact with our viewers, listeners, whatever you want to call them. And apparently there was like this discussion about the Next Level tire dressing, and one group said that it was trash and Papa Smurf was defending it. And then I was talking to Matt Ayers, and he had said that Jim from Next Level had watched that and was kind of hurt by it. And so through my connection with Fab, I was able to reach out to Jim, and we had an absolutely lovely conversation on the phone. He's a very genuine individual, and I do have a lot of respect for him. And he ended up sending me a bottle of the tire dressing, but he said that give it 24 hours to cure before getting it wet, and it's been raining all week here. So my intention was to put it on my vehicle and then be able to talk about it and be like, you know what, it actually is a great product, which I have no doubt that it is a great product. But I didn't get a chance to put it on the car because, it's been raining almost every day this week. So, but I do want to give a shout out to Jim from Next Level. And the whole reason why I'm even discussing this is because of who you are, Brian, to me. And before Phoenix even became a concept, when I would come to visit you, you would always say, "Hey, man, when are you going to do this for yourself? When are you going to make your own products? When are you going to do you?" And then you took it the next level up, and you had said, "When you do it, I will support you in every way, in any way, shape that I can." And then when I did do it, you put my product on your website to sell alongside your products. And I said, "Why would you do that?" And you said, "There's plenty to go around for everybody." And so I can extend that same, that pay it forward mentality to another small business owner like Jim from Next Level. He's definitely in direct competition with me because we sell a lot of the same stuff. But in this particular area, the tire dressing, I have zero tire dressing. and I'm afraid to do tire dressings because I think tire dressings can give you a black eye very, very easily.
Oh, they are a challenge and an obvious challenge.
Right, and if you get it wrong, your name is gonna get slung through the mud hardcore. So like I've been really, really slow, perfecting, testing, trying to get something that does everything. Like the all-in-one tire dressing. It's not too shiny, but it's not dull, and it doesn't sling, and it lasts for 3 months and yada yada yada. So I'm excited about what's going on with you. Hey everybody, guess what? Guess what? Boom.
Hey
hello,
guys.
hello.
Hey.
How are
Hey
you?
Brian, how's it going?
Very good. And yourself?
Oh, fantastic. Now.
Glad you made it.
Thank you.
We are too. This guy. Eileen, how are you?
Doing better now.
Good. I was talking a lot of trash about you earlier today.
I knew it. I felt it the
Did
whole
you?
time. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a new, thanks to Brian here, I have a new friend out in California that likes to call and we talk for hours. I mean, literally talk to hours. And we were talking about you and what you have brought to Curmudgeon's Corner. And then he asked me exactly where, because he lives in Orange County. And he asked where you were. And I told him, and he was like, wait a second. She's a mobile detailer in the desert. I said, yes. And he goes, you know how hot it is right now? And I looked it up. It was 106 degrees today where you're at. Yes, 106. And I know that you are out there slinging it. Holy moly. You can fry eggs on surfaces of cars with that.
Probably. I mean, my brain was fried today. So there's that. I think I lost some brain cells after today's details.
What a wonderful individual. I mean, isn't it funny? That's why I love to talk to subscribers and those down in the comment section, and anybody that reaches out, anybody that calls. I'd love to pick up the phone, and you get to meet individuals such as what we were talking about, and there's nothing that beats that. The connections you can make.
Yeah.
Picking up the phone.
He's an actor. Was like really more predominant in the 80s and early 90s. And now he's gotten into life coaching and a bunch of other stuff. And he has agreed to come on Curmudgeon's Corner during the Pay It Forward when we do the real push after Black Friday. The 4 weeks of the Pay It Forward campaign. So Eddie, appreciate you coming out. Appreciate you watching the show. Appreciate your support. Just like every product I hate on, everyone in chat might love it. I think that Eddie, I think it's important that we have the ability to have these conversations, and there has to, not everybody can be on the same page. I think that's what good conversation, good dialogue is all about. It's having a difference of opinions, even if it's just for provoking. 104, that's terrible. It's terrible. Anyway.
Yeah, Eddie said he doesn't like O&R, so I like to provoke that by telling him that I love O&R.
The rinse list?
It's a great conversation, me and Eddie. Yeah, when we talk about
when I was first testing, when we were coming up with the Hydra formula, O&R was definitely one of, like, I went out and bought a whole bunch of different rinselesses. I did McKee's, was it N95 or something, N95 or whatever.
Yep.
It did O&R. We did Wolfgang's. I think I bought like 8 or 9 different rinseless washes. The biggest problem that I had with O&R, and now we were testing Hydra. I think it was late January. It could have been late January. Maybe it was early February. So it was cold outside, especially up here in the Northeast.
Yeah, you had salt and cinders flying up on the side of the cars too.
Yeah, well, but we were doing a side-by-side comparison and testing. We felt that because O&R and a lot of them, like the McKee's, they have extra stuff added to it. A little bit of protection. I think there might be even like optical enhancers or something in one of them. I felt that because of the cold surface of the vehicle, it caused like almost like a residue. Not necessarily a streaking, but it was definitely like almost like a fine gelatinous application because
Well,
it
it felt like something was left behind.
Yeah, yeah, and like you could swirl it around with your fingertip on the surface.
Yep.
So, and that was one of the reasons why we decided we weren't going to do any of those additives or protections and things like that, because you can use Hydra and then you can follow it up with Titan or BC3 for that matter. That's why we went that direction. But I will say, breaking news on Curmudgeon's Corner 32, that we've been playing with some surfactants, and based upon the last couple of rinseless tests that Jamie and Joey and Eddie and a couple of other guys have been doing, and I want to say, they're not, Hydra falls in the middle. It doesn't fall. It's not last, but it's not first either. So I think we're tweaking that formula a little bit to give.
Are you saying there's a V2 coming?
Yeah, I'm saying there's a V2 coming. Yeah, yeah,
that's exciting.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Brian, this is great that you're on here, that I can discuss this with you, because you were there. You helped me formulate Hydra, and you helped me change the formula right out of the gate. Remember when Jamie did the test and it was just like, it's kind of trash, and we were like, all right, well, what do we need to do to make it better? And you were there in the warehouse with me, helping me change stuff up, and we purposefully kind of made sure that it didn't foam. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, apparently people love foam. This surfactant, it's a pretty neato, but it does have a foaming capability, or not capability, characteristic. It has a foaming characteristic, but it also gives it a very lubricious characteristic as well. So it's kind of like it has a foam stabilizing quality to it, and it also has a lubricious quality to it. So I think Hydra is going to be running with the big dogs here in its next formula. Also, the reason why I'm even bothered to bring it up is because we've been experimenting with the soap, and we're doing it to the soap as well. So Apex Auto Wash is going to be, I don't know, Apex 3.0. I mean, it's ridiculous how E.O.D. just I can't help myself but to play in the warehouse. We're always fooling around with stuff. Anyway, awesome. Back to you, Brian. I'm sorry. This is not. This is about.
Oh, please.
We should be showcasing you, sir.
No, just continue on.
Huh.
I'm just happy to be part of the fun tonight.
Well, you know what? This is a great conversation piece. You have been involved, obviously, in the detailing world for a while now. You've got to do some pretty phenomenal trips. I know that you did Chicago. I know that you did Arizona with Turtle Wax. Who would you say, out of like all the meet and greets and things, who had the biggest impression on you, or who were you the most excited to shake hands with? I'm going to exclude myself, obviously. So you don't even mention me.
You just stole my answer, then, I guess.
I know.
No,
word of the day, lubricious.
I can't say that I would favor one over another, because I've gotten so much out of each and every one of them. I wouldn't. I would be remiss if I would take one of them out. I learned something from each and every one of them. From Oregon, I got to meet the guys at CA-CAW too as well.
I was going to say that myself.
Yep. Yeah, Turtle Wax, and quite a few other ones, and there might be videos coming if I get to go out and visit some of those others. We'll get an inside look, but I can't say there's a favorite, because I really appreciated and learned something from every one of them.
Well, I will say the highlight of my career, other than, and I know this sounds self-serving, other than 2 weeks ago when Eileen made that video, Eileen, probably one of my proudest moments was being able to go home last weekend and show that video to my dad.
Aww.
It was the sum of 50 years of my life.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. I got to show it to him, and you don't know my dad, but he's a retired Marine colonel, and You just, when you see that look of just being proud without saying I'm proud of you, that look of being proud, that is the win. Anyway,
Yeah.
other than that moment, hanging out with all of you guys down at Southern Detailers Conference last June, that was pretty epic. I mean, hanging out with the Four Horsemen. I mean, that was, for me, like, I got to have all of my I don't know, I don't want to say colleagues, I want to say mentors, all of my mentors, being surrounded by, you know what I mean? It was like, it was pretty, for me, it was wow. That would be, for me, would be having, like, even though I've met all you guys individually, to have everybody together, that was the sum of everything. So those two moments stand out to me the most in my career.
Yeah, Kentucky. Yeah, aside from the underwhelming attendance,
I'm not even talking about that. Like when we went to dinner, when we had the Brazilian steakhouse, holy moly,
it just melted in your mouth.
Right? That was such a good time.
And the speakeasy underneath.
The speakeasy underneath, that was a good time too. We found you. They said, like, oh, Louisville is horrible and dangerous at night. Don't do that. And we were like, oh, we're gonna go find Brian. Yeah, and then underneath, I think Papa Smurf, or one of them, Brian or Papa Smurf, went off to find a bathroom. And they're like, dude, there's this whole extra bar underneath the bar. That was fun. Speaking of colonels, who knew Rob Riggle was a lieutenant colonel? Who's Rob Riggle? Do I know Rob Riggle? Do we know Rob Riggle?
Yeah. He's in so many movies. He's always like a compliment actor. Trying to think of one of the 300 he's been in. Step Brothers.
Okay.
He's a gentleman that worked for the helicopter rental guy.
Yeah. I know who you're talking about now. Speaking of which, you're a big movie guy, right? I mean, that's yeah. I would say that's one of the common things that we bond over a lot.
Theater in the shop, so you can...
I have to call you out on this. I have to. I'm sorry. It sticks in my crawl.
Oh, I know what we're
You know exactly. Yeah, you know exactly what I'm about to say. So this guy, Eileen, this guy, he says, sorry, he says he's a child of the '80s, and one of the things when I was first hanging out with him, and I was talking to his son, and I was like, I need to get him a Christmas present. What can I get for him? And he was like, anything '80s. Anything '80s will make him happy. And so we started talking about this, and for the longest time, I called him Yoda. Whenever we would text back and forth to each other, I would be like, yes, my master, or any of those things, right? Any Star Wars reference. And then fast forward, 10 years later, we're talking about it in the shop, and he's like, I've never seen any of those movies. I said, wait. You've never seen any of the Star Wars movies? You're a movie nut. You're a child of the '80s, and you've never watched any of the Star Wars movies? I don't believe you. So, here and now, Brian, have you seen any of those movies at all? And
Absolutely not.
Why not?
I'd rather turn the channel over and watch Crawl.
But you're not exactly. You're not opposed to sci-fi. You like Crawl. You like Dune. You like all of those. Absolutely. Like Star Wars is in the upper echelon of all-time sci-fi.
Did absolutely nothing for me.
Well, how do you know you haven't seen it? How do you know you don't like Chinese food unless you've tried it?
No thanks. I'll pass.
It's mind-boggling.
He knows what he likes.
My very first movie of all time, and this will be a trivia question down the line, you nerds. So write it down. The very first movie that I ever went to was Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, in my dad's station wagon at a drive-in theater with my dad and my great-grandmother. Boom, boom, boom.
Beautiful. And I was in the same niche of sci-fi. I went to go see The Thing, John Carpenter's The Thing.
It was
Scared the hell
I
out.
was gonna say I was a little young for that. Do you remember there was a horror movie came in the late 70s? It was called Gargoyles. The commercial on television gave me nightmares for months. My like the commercial would come on and they would give me nightmares. I've never been a horror guy. Don't do horror very well.
The thing.
See, I like horror.
Scanners, 80s horror was fantastic.
Yes, amazing.
You know what?
Star Wars,
You're right.
Yeah.
Like, the Nightmare on Elm Streets and obviously all the Jasons and all the Halloweens, Hellraiser.
Hellraiser, yep.
Animator. You have scanners. I mean, there's so many.
Yeah, there were.
The Exorcist, The Shining. Oh, Shining was a good one. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
I think later on, as I grew older and I could go back and watch, like I've seen all like the Nightmare on Elm Streets and all of that stuff. So, but it was much later in my life that I went back and watched those because I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do the horror thing. I remember watching. Here's a fun fact. I remember when my dad had a beta VCR.
Yeah.
All right, so that's how far back the story
We
goes.
had one of
And
those. Yeah.
there was like 6 movies that were available to the beta. The beta was it Betamax or whatever it was called.
Yeah.
And based upon the commercials, my dad brought home Alien, thinking that it was like a family movie. First of all, get behind. Nope, that was a bad mistake. Not a family movie. What is a VCR? LOL.
Not
Really?
at all.
Really? Oh wow, yeah. Check it out, Phantasm. I remember that was the ball with the blades on.
Oh
Right?
man, yep, absolutely. I love the 72 CUDA that they carried probably in 3 or 4 of the movies. Fantastic with the slam shifter. Oh, I watched it just for that.
That was also Mary. That was also a movie. Be Kind Rewind. It had David Duchovny in it, right? And no, that's not it. I forget who was in it, but it was a movie as well. But yeah, I remember Be Kind. You got charged at Blockbuster for not rewinding your movies.
Yep. Brian, you recently came out with a video that I actually really appreciated because you went through kind of like on a business level.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, that was
You
just
went,
recently. Yeah.
Recently, yeah. Are you going to come out with anything similar to that? Like, is that a series that you think you're going to like expand into, or was that like a one and done type thing?
I've now gotten enough feedback as to how I want to branch off. I want to branch off on the marketing portion of that. I want to branch off to the communication with the customer with that. Sales is, I mean, sales would be a series of videos. I have so much I can share with sales. But yeah, absolutely. No,
that video was amazing. Yeah, I mean, it touched on a lot of different topics, especially being a new business and like starting out with. I didn't even know that you started out as a mobile detailer. I had no idea. I thought you always had a shop, and that was kind of how you started. And it was cool to see like your vision from the beginning. And it's like, hey, I was a mobile detailer, and this is this next step, and the next step, and the next step. So it's awesome. It was really, it was a really great video.
I also, I think the first one I'm going to slide up and come out first with that is going to be one on how to stay busy and successful in crazy times like in 08 when the BS hit the fan. And this year is a little bit iffy as well. Just take, for instance, some of my best customers. Fleets of cars, pole buildings full of cars. They normally would come up and just drop a car off. Tell me what they wanted, left, didn't ask the price, didn't care. This year I'm seeing, all right, before they leave, they want to know how much it's going to cost. They're asking more questions. It's not, so when they are hesitating, opening up the wallet or pulling out the credit card, however you want to put it, I know something is not right. And I'm seeing that this year. So I want to put it, and if I see it, I know others are seeing it or will start to see it soon. So I want to put a video on how to stay ahead of that and be prepared for that and stay busy. Because what I did is I flushed out a lot of the smaller packages. for
Right.
the more expensive need and want and not need packages is what I call them. And you have to be prepared when times are rough to keep things still buzzing along at your shop and keeping the cash flow coming in. You just need to make some adjustments. I'll put a video on how to do that.
And how do you in your path? How did you decide it was time for you to switch from a mobile detailer to an actual shop? Like, what was the sign for you to say, like, you know, was it money? Was it the amount of clients? Like, what was it that made you decide that?
Can I guess? Can I guess? Because I think I was there for that transition. Because like when I first, the way that Brian and I met, I was trying to research a local competitor's product, and so I went on the internet and I looked at this competitor's product, and I saw that Brian had done a video on it, and then I found out where Brian was operating out of, which isn't your current location. It's not even the current town. You were at that mechanic shop up the street.
No, there were a couple before that as well.
No, I know, but I'm talking about when you and I met each other.
When we met, yeah, that
you had just left there because I drove to that location, and they were like, "Oh no, he moved to Warnersville."
Yes.
And so, when I first met you, you were still doing on Fridays. You were shutting down your business on Fridays, and you were doing car washes across the street at the elderly community to just kind of keep their cars clean and so on and so forth. And it was soon after that, and this is to answer the question. Is you got too busy. There was such a demand for your services that you had to stop doing the mobile stuff. Is that correct?
Part of it. The main reason that I always so comfort zone for me is something I try not to stay in for very long, if that makes sense. If I feel myself getting comfortable with something, and I was getting comfortable with mobile detailing because there was no overhead besides insurance for the car and fuel for the vehicle or whatever you're using and some tools. And once you get into a comfort zone, and things can get stale really quick. I'm always getting one leg out of that comfort zone and setting one foot into the next venture that I have no idea what I'm doing, and owning a shop and getting updated with the overhead and employees and insurance and all that was something I wasn't comfortable with, and I always forced myself to go to the next step. So that was part of it. But yeah, the volume was also something that I wanted everybody to do to me.
And you felt like the volume was so much that your schedule was so packed. Is that why? And then you decided, like, I need a shop so I can like get rid of those clients and kind of like. No,
I never wanted to get rid of them. The objective was to have them come to one point where I'm not moving around and I'm not the one in motion.
Okay, got it.
I want everybody to come. And
did you feel like did you lose any customers because you were no longer mobile and they liked that part of your business? Did you see anyone like?
Nope. Because what you want to do when you transition from mobile to shop, you want to still do both for about 2 years or so.
Okay.
And for an example, one of my customers that had no problem bringing his newer stuff to me, but had a pole billing worth of collectibles that don't leave, yeah. I would still go out and take care of
those. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Are you taking notes, Eileen?
I'm sure that there are other people.
I just was wondering if you're getting ready to make the transition.
Not me. I would love to.
Getting awards from the town you live in.
No.
Come on, you're kind of a big deal.
I would love to do that. I mean, that would be the goal, is to have a shop and have like a whole thing. But
the Desert Queen.
I'm not there
while you're mobile and you have a full schedule, enjoy it. And while you're enjoying it, main thoroughfares, just keep looking for what opens up. Start out with a rent or a lease to own, and then eventually you want to purchase. The commercial real estate is incredible. So you eventually want to own what you're working in.
Right.
But yeah, just never stay comfortable, never be comfortable. Always be ready to have your foot stepping into the next venture.
Yeah, absolutely. And did you when you got into your shop, did you already start providing like tinting or PPF services, or were you just detailing?
No, I kept going with the exact same services that I was doing when I was mobile, and well, completely mobile. So I kept doing both mobile and shop, doing the same thing for probably another year or two, and still until I started maybe going to more paint correction than anything else, and then flushing out the used car trade-ins and interiors and stuff like that.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a slow progress. You don't want to jump. You don't want to jump ahead of yourself too fast.
Right. Of course. Absolutely.
Where is it? Quick Robin to So Clean Cave.
Franco.
So you want to dive into some of your questions? We've been going for about 8:45, so we've been 45 minutes.
Have you given anything away?
I haven't given anything away yet. We usually try to give some stuff away around the half-hour mark. I thought
giveaways.
We always do giveaways. Brian, I don't ever want to overstep myself, but I mean, you're welcome to give away stuff on the show. We're going to give away stuff on the show. I know that we got BC 8 that just came out. BC 9 is on its way, and Eileen, I think you might have missed it, but BC 9 is supposed to be his BC 3.
Times 3.
Yeah. So you did hear that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Cool. All right.
Well, I'm so honored that you had me on. Can I lead off with a giveaway?
Of course. Absolutely. So what kind of trivia question? Eileen is usually the trivia queen. So Eileen, if you got a question for him or for the audience, we can. If not, I'm sure we could come up with something. Bucket game strong.
Man.
BC9 is BC3 better? Is that a question, Umberto? Because the answer is yes. BC9.
Yeah, that was going to be my question, but he wrote it in there. So.
Oh, way to go, Umberto.
By the way, Umberto, I don't know how you do it, but I'm thankful for the support that you show not only from my channel, but my friends' channels and a lot of the other platforms out there. I don't know how you do it, but I just want to say thank you.
You know what? I'm gonna piggyback on that, Brian. So. A couple of weeks ago, I was on. It was the 4th of July episode of Eddie's EC, the Keep It Real podcast with Eddie and Joey. Humberto won a brand new Shine Mate cordless polisher, and he immediately donated it to the Pay It Forward campaign that we do at the end of the year. And we've already received it. I took pictures. I'm supposed to post it on Instagram, but things have been getting away from me lately. Anyway, that was an unbelievably amazing donation and gift. And I think that it's that kind of thing that really will make an impact in somebody's life around those around the holidays. But more so to the point, after all of that went down, Humberto reached out to me directly and said, I want to donate some more stuff. What's your mailing address? And so not only did Humberto donate a very expensive brand new polisher, but now he's donating even more stuff to the Pay It Forward campaign. And I think Humberto is a living example of what this community is and what this community can be to so many people. And it's only through those donations that the Pay It Forward campaign can exist, and it's only through people like Humberto and everybody. I mean, we last episode we had $170 donated to the Pay It Forward campaign. We had Kimberly, Kimberly Mick, Franklin, Extra Mile. They all donated money. Like I said, Humberto and Hawaii Tim. These guys and gals have been donating since we started. The whole thing starts all over again January 1st of the following year, and it really is just a beautiful community that we're a part of. We're 31 strong on a Saturday night, hanging out, doing the podcast. Guys like you, Brian, that have enabled me to do what I do, and the viewers and the community enabling the Pay It Forward campaign to exist. So really, I love this community. I love this little Phoenix family that we've built, and quite frankly, it's the only thing that really keeps me going. I get emails and phone calls every week saying how much this podcast means to somebody, how they know that they're not alone when it comes to even struggles in their life and hardships in their life, that they're part of something bigger than themselves, and that keeps all of us going. So just to piggyback on what you said, Humberto, you're an amazing human being, and we are all so grateful that you are a part of this community. So
yeah, the community needs more selflessness like that.
Absolutely.
No doubt.
All right. So let's give something away. Where were we?
Okay. I would like to start if you don't mind.
Absolutely, sir.
Okay. So now that we've been moving into the shop here as we've been keeping up with the schedule, and we're just about there. We need to make just a few more decisions, but we're going to start training soon. So we're going to resume with the training, and it's going to be a 2-day training like it always has been, a Saturday and a Sunday, 9 to 5, or whenever we get done. I take care of breakfast and lunch, and we hang out for dinner sometimes. So I want to give away a ticket for that. And
are you kidding me? That's like a crazy.
Whoa.
That is such.
Hold
holy
on,
moly.
I'm exiting so I can play too. Hold on.
So they're normally worth anywhere from $7.50 on up per ticket. It's a Saturday and a Sunday. You just need to find your way there. You can bring somebody if you want to. And all we need to do is get contact information for the winner, and then I will send them a ticket for when we start to. That's going to start probably within a month or two.
I've been to more than one of your shows. You allow me to come up and sponsor the show by giving products away and things of that nature. But I'm always there just to learn.
Yeah.
I think the last time I came up, you and I were fooling around. You had that green metallic car. I forget what it was.
M3 competition, I believe.
And then we were using the Papa Cut on it, and you got like 104 on the gloss meter. Absolutely insane. But that weekend learning package is absolutely phenomenal. If you can get to his shop, it is beyond worth what you will learn. We did paint correction on day 1, and we do ceramic coatings on day 2. And
it's nonstop from start to finish, and I'm going to streamline so we can fit everything in from the first couple hours of the first day, covering business and sales and everything I mentioned earlier this evening, to moving on to basic cleaning, correction, paint correction, wet sanding, coatings, of course, and paint protection film as well. And then within that those 2 days, if there's anything that you kind of want to dial in on, one of us, I'll have a team there, will do some one-on-one with you. I'll make sure I break free and can do one-on-one with whatever you want to cover. I'd be more than happy to.
Yeah, you really are. And it is even, I think some of the classes that you've had that I've been a part of, you've had almost 24 people there, but they still get that individual training. And especially now with just how completely competent your two henchmen are, Brian Mayall and Brian Jr. You guys are pumping out a whole nother level of perfection out of the Apex shop. So if you can get to this training class, it will be worth every effort that you have to make to get to this show is worth it. For sure.
I'm extremely excited because we were capped at the old shop, and with the new shop, having everything set up the way we do now.
Yeah, that's true. We had to set up in that tent down over the hill at your old shop. Now you have 3 bays that you can just do whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I still look forward to that because, you know, people from Connecticut to Arizona, I mean, all over the country.
I know a couple of my local guys have been asking, like, hey, when's Brian going to do it again? When's Brian going to do it again? And I'm like,
it's coming.
Yeah.
It's coming soon.
I would, after the show, you and I will get together so I can tell Tim when you're doing it, because I know that he's got 2 boys working for him now, and he wants to send everybody to your class.
Yeah, just stay tuned to the social media, either on the Facebook group, my business or private pages, or YouTube. I'll announce it all there when we get some dates together.
And Sissy is always welcoming hugs at any time. LOL.
She's right next to me. Yep. She's gonna charge her puppy tax. So
shop manager's right there. Yeah, crusts and crusts from pizza and French fries,
pets and hugs and all that. Yeah.
All right, so then we need a trivia question to go along with this amazing prize. So, what do we got?
Oh man, I feel like it needs to be a big question for that.
All right, hold on. Give me 30 seconds, and I'll hopefully find the answer or the question.
Your favorite is chicken nuggets.
What did you say? Chicken nuggets?
Her favorite is chicken nuggets.
The one thing I'd like to add with the training, not only can you come with no knowledge at all and you're going to leave and be able to make some decent money, you will always have me within arm's reach or just a phone call away to lean on if you have any questions or concerns after that. It doesn't end with those 2 days. I still have some that have been to our training sessions that I'm still in contact regularly. And they're growing. They're growing fast, and it's such a great feeling to see them.
Dr. Fred. Dr. Fred.
Whoever goes, just put me in your luggage. I'm coming with you.
I mean, that's who I met Dr. Fred at one of those shows, and he is a staple in what we do nowadays. He at least once a month he drives up and hangs out with Brian and I at the shop. Yeah, these are lifelong friendships that are forged at your shop, man.
Humberto, send me the question if you have it.
I'm getting there. This thing is not nearly as easy to navigate as it once used to be. That's for sure.
For some reason, I can't chat in here. So, Humberto, if you want to send me
all the good questions, Brian Jr. keeps writing in the chat room, so we can't, hey, what's the name of the of the shop manager? Oh, thanks. You just wrote Sissy. What in the universe is happening? Oh, whatever. I can't do it. It won't let me do it anymore. Sorry, everybody.
Who's the guy in the mural at Apex's shop?
There's a guy in the mural at Apex's shop.
Oh, they probably mean the mural above the front end of the 63 Corvair. That's supposed to be Sissy and I hanging out the window. I believe that's what they're...
You know what? Here's a good question. If anybody that's been watching Brian with any kind of regularity will know, what was the very first car that he used? What was the first car that Brian used during do you remember when you started doing the trade-ins? You bought a car from the auto auctions, you fixed it up, you sold it in order to buy the next better car, and you were trying to basically trade your way all the way up to the Lamborghini. So basically the question is, what was the first car that you worked on and sold to in that series of turnovers? Do you remember? I think I remember, but I can't. I'm not.
Don't say it.
I don't want to say anything until
not,
somebody asks.
That is one series I wish I would have been able to finish, but when I got to the Escalade and CC fell in love with the interior after I gutted it, that was the end of that.
I want to say it was something like this. Is that right? Is that accurate? What's the very first one that you used?
I'm not sure if it was a Grand Cherokee, but I'm pretty sure it was a Jeep.
Because you sold it to that guy in New York.
Yep. I don't know if it was a Grand. It was another.
Well, I mean, he originally did say Jeep. He did say Jeep, and then he changed it to Grand Cherokee. So can we say Jeep is the winner?
That's what it was.
And there you go. Way to go, Papa Smurf. Yep, I remember you sold it to that guy from New York. The guy came all the way down from New York. That's crazy. So, hey, Smurf, when you decide to fly into Philadelphia International, I'll give you a ride to Brian's shop. No problem. All right, Flock of Seagulls. He says it was a Jeep. It was a Jeep Patriot. Is the official answer is a Jeep Patriot, but Jeep does win since that was the only one that even came close. Booyah.
Yep, that one's still on the road. That's a customer that came down and purchased that because his toy that he brought down to get protected, he didn't want to use that as a daily driver. So the Jeep's
it's
still
not a bad
moving
trivia question, I might say. I'm saying that I reached out of my hat of tricks.
Eric, I'm jumping in your pocket and we're going together.
There you go. I'm telling you, all are welcome. And one way or another, if you guys make your way out here, Brian's shop is big enough that we could set up bunk beds in there. We could hang out.
Oh, that's a good idea.
It'll be like a sleepover. We could stay up all night and talk about boys. It'll be great.
That's exciting. He wants to donate it to the Pay It Forward campaign.
Oh, really? Oh, really?
I don't know how that works, but...
Yeah, I mean, we could figure a way out to do it. It probably wouldn't be this year. It'd have to be next year because the winner doesn't win unless Brian does another one of his fall series or winter series. You used to do summer series and a winter series.
Summer, fall, and winter. Yep. I mean, and now that we're pretty much almost set. I mean, I can do one every season. We'll see how that goes. I just want to get it started again.
I think you should. I mean, there's such a demand for it.
I'd be happy to.
I mean, we've met some pretty cool characters. I think people have come from Texas to this show or to your class. I mean, it's worth it. If you can get there, it's worth it. All right, Papa, we'll talk on the drive-in on Tuesday since you take Mondays off. We'll talk about it and figure out a way of implementing it into the Pay It Forward campaign. Again, that's a $500 donation you just donated. It's pretty wild. All right, so we're at hour 1, 9:02. Eileen, you want to jump into your before now and then?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's do it. Brian, game on, buddy.
All right, Brian. So, first question is, what is a tool that you bought that you feel now you could have waited or never purchased at all?
An extractor.
That's a good answer.
Why?
We used it.
There's a lot of people that swear by it as well.
Well, yeah, and that's completely fine. I don't like to oversaturate anything in the interior, and with the multiple layers of carpet and the base layer, it just feeds way too much moisture compared to what it sucks back in again. So. A steamer and just some good old-fashioned elbow grease got me to where I needed to go with those interiors. It may have taken a little bit longer, but the extractor could have stayed where it was at.
Cool. All right. Next question is, what is one thing that you have in your arsenal that if it was missing on your next detail, you would struggle or kick yourself for not having?
Well, I'm going to have to say the paint depth gauge nowadays, just because how everything is irregular and thin and soft, and I need to know how much is there or how little is there. What they gave me, that transition from solvents to water-based clear is scary. So that paint depth gauge. And you don't have to have a DeFelsco $4,000 DeFelsco that shows you all layers on all the on every single surface or panel. Just the cheap, I think it was $48 nicety I bought years ago. I don't even think they make them anymore from Amazon. Works perfectly fine. Now it's not as accurate as the DeFelsco, but once you start to learn its measurements and how to utilize it, it's going to work. It works perfectly fine. It gives you an idea of what you have to start with.
It's also really, really easy to figure out if the car's been repainted or not. That was something
repainted,
that I learned from you.
fillers,
where it's like 14 millimeters thick, and you're just like, wait a second. That's
when you jump to 5.5 mils to 14, 17, and 20.
Yeah, that's a good sign right there.
Yeah.
Alrighty, next question is, what is a skill that you learned that has proven to be the most beneficial for you as a detailer or business?
Wet sanding, hands down. No hesitation there. For all the reason I mentioned in the videos, keeping that temperature down on the clear coat.
And is that something that was self-taught, or did you go somewhere and learn that from someone else?
Now, when I started detailing in the late 80s, you needed to know how to wet sand and use a 25-pound rotary polisher, or you didn't have a job, because that's all there really was when it came to paint. The cleaning part, you had all the vacs and the shampoo, the foamy shampoos back then and stuff, but to work on paint, you were removing dust nibs and a little bit of texture and maybe some curtains here and there if it was a bad day for the painter. So learning how to use the razor blade to remove some imperfections on the paint and then do wet sanding and then buff all that out with a 25-pound huge rotary polisher with back in the day, you had a can of compound that a rag was just laying it in, and you would just pick it up and slap it on the surface and pick up the rotary and get to work. Fibers and wool.
Good old days.
Oh, it was crazy.
All right.
Super Auto asked a question along the same line as the extractor. Do you use a steamer and or a tornador on a regular basis?
Not on a regular basis, but they are within arm's reach if I do pull out that interior cart. Absolutely. I would reach for those before. The steamer, that it helps with spot cleaning and the tornador.
Okay.
All right. Next question is, as a small business, what has been, obviously you have a larger business than that, but what in your business, what has been the biggest challenge you faced? What would be your best or favorite accomplishment to date regarding your business or because of your business?
That's easy. Employees, not only finding the right ones. Finally, I've been through phases where I've failed at that. But when it comes to employees for your business, you need to bring them in so you can stop being a slave for your business and work on the business so it can grow. Bringing in the right employees and then keeping them. And not only keeping them, to finish the second part of the question, what have I been proud of? Being able to give them an environment where they can take care of their, whatever things they enjoy or their family, being able to take care of whatever they need to take care of and be happy and come to work in a good mood and have a good time, but still be productive and work hard. Like I said, we work hard, but we all play hard too. So
I love that what you said in your video when you said, like, when you have the employees, giving them the incentive, kind of like owning the business a little bit so that they feel proud of what they're accomplishing and the sales targets and all that stuff. I think that's a really great takeaway from that video was you saying that, because a lot of people, they just have employees and they're like, I don't care about you, they're like, anyways, one and done. But it's great the mentality that you have with your employees, where it's like, you're part of this, you're not just an employee.
It goes much deeper than just a time card and punching in. It goes much deeper than that when you're here. My employees and the pet manager, they're spoiled, and they should be. Now they don't take that for granted. This is the difference, is they don't take that for granted, and they stay productive, and it's it works, but it takes time to figure out which employees to bring on board.
So
Right.
if I can jump in and ask like a spin on this question, I mean, everybody can. I think that we can all agree that you are extremely successful. You have a successful detailing business. You have a successful PPF business. You have a successful product line. The vehicles that you drive, the upgrade of warehouses. You're 3 times the size that you were a couple of months ago. Going back towards the beginning, when you first decided to stop doing your old career and doing this career, what would you say to somebody like Eileen, somebody like myself, Phoenix? What would you say would be like the best advice, reflecting on what your struggles were? What would be your best advice to overcome those struggles?
Well,
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And the reason I was able to overcome them is because what you're referring to is I owned a trucking company for 15 years. And when I sold that, I was thinking, well, what the hell am I going to do now? I always had the end bay of the trucking company open so I can detail cars when everybody showed up and I didn't have to go out on the road. So to answer the question, choosing an occupation where it doesn't feel like a job. And to me, since detailing was already in my blood and it was hard to satisfy that need to detail and satisfy the OCD in me, that occupation, picking that and going back into it, it took care of everything you just mentioned there, because it never felt like a job. Even today, I wake up sometimes with butterflies in my stomach, knowing what I'm going to be working on. I still love working on the vehicles. I still love doing the videos. After 1,560 videos, I still enjoy. I would do it every day if I could.
But did you ever find like yourself like struggling at something like supply chains or getting customers or getting your name out there? And then like what would you tell yourself then, what you know now, as far as being able to overcome that resistance, that struggle, that dread that you might feel in the morning?
Yeah, and that continues up to this day. It's the no quit attitude that you have to have. There are going to be speed bumps. There are going to be days where people kick you down and kick you while you're down. It's just getting back up immediately and pushing on and keep driving towards your goals. The goals I had, I never lost sight of them. And it was a constant drive towards them. And I still have a lot of goals, and I will not stop.
Global domination being one of them. I get it. I've seen you in your lab, Smock. You look like Dr. Evil. Brian, I love you. You're really great.
All right.
That's. Thank you for that. I do appreciate that answer.
All right, Brian. Next question is: what social media platform have you had the most success with?
Well, I could say YouTube, Google, Facebook. Those 3 are the 3 prominent ones that I could say are successful. I don't know if it's because of me. It's because of the work that my team puts out. I'm in the spotlight because of that, but it isn't just me.
Yeah. Okay.
I think you skipped over like 2 questions, and one of them I really, really want to hear the answer to.
Okay.
Wait, did I?
Yeah.
Put it up on the screen. Please. Oh, I don't even have that on my, did I delete it? I don't know. Okay, well, there you go, Brian. What is the weirdest thing you've ever found while detailing a vehicle?
Besides a cock ring?
Yeah, I guess so. Besides the cock ring, yeah.
Here's a question: how did you know that's what it was that you were looking at? I would have been like, "What?"
It was obvious. It even had some jewelry on his dingly.
It's a ring toss for the quality. Wow, did not see that coming.
It was a little bit different from mine, but I knew what it was.
Brian was quick with that answer. Oh boy. Oh my God, Lord. Oh, wow. And then the next one was, and this is probably, this is another really good question that I'd love to hear your answer too. Have you ever had a customer that expressed an unrealistic expectation of a detail?
Oh,
knowing that it's you that's doing, like the Godfather of detailing. I drove my car all the way from Chicago to have you detail my car. Now take the seats out.
It's happened before. It's happened recently, and it will happen again. I just had a customer in the parking lot that wanted to come back to the shop with a baseball bat and knock me out. And you're always going to come across some individuals that I'm not going to finish that thought, but you're going to come across those type of individuals. You need to keep a cool head, which is what I did, and what you always have to do. Let them get out what they want to get out, and then educate them. And once you educate them, they'll understand a little bit better. Education goes a long way.
This is going to be Curmudgeon's Corner history. That answer. Wow. Wow, you have got a response out of everybody. I love this. Not safe for children. Click. All right. Back to you, Eileen.
Now we're back.
We're back. Yeah, now we're back on course.
I have to add those two in. Okay, how do you classify success? What does that look like for you? Everyone has their own definition. What is your definition?
Driving around in an orange Lamborghini?
No, not at all. It's a byproduct. Success again has to surround with the employees, being able to watch them and see that they're able to enjoy things like go to car shows and be able to pick up things for their car and be able to do things to their vehicle that maybe you taught them or they can afford because you are giving them employment and their lives are enriched because of what you make available to them. Cars, homes, stuff like that. It's a byproduct. Yeah, I enjoy them, but I could do without them. I did before. I grew up poor. I could do without them any day, and I wouldn't think twice.
Yeah,
I'd agree with that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think that we measure success in a business of being able to make money and provide for family, maybe go on vacations and stuff like that. But I would say that in the 3 years that we've been doing Phoenix, I think I have felt the most successful around the Pay It Forward campaign. I think that has given the most meaning to or I should say fulfillment to having this ability to have this company. I think that's where I find the most, and it has absolutely nothing to do with me. I don't get anything out of it, but the ability to provide that for somebody else.
Yeah, exactly.
I think you're right. I think you're 100% right. Yeah. It's a beautiful answer, Brian. Thank you.
It is a great answer.
All right. So here we are. Hour 9:15, 17. 1:17. So what do you want to do? You want to give away something else? I mean, I know we just gave something away at 9 o'clock, but we usually give something away at 8:30. Somebody was late working all the time.
Oh my God. Do you know that this morning, can I just
6-degree weather.
Can I just say this morning? I had this gladiator scheduled for 6:30 this morning, and I get there at 6:35. And as soon as I put it in park, the customer texts me, "Can we reschedule?" And I said out loud a thing that I probably shouldn't have, but then I texted back and I was like, "I'm here. When would you like to reschedule?" And then he came out and we talked about how he stayed up till 4 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, well, luckily for you, you're not detailing. It's me. So go back to bed.
Go back to bed and I'll take care of your stuff.
Yeah.
Hey,
I was
Eileen.
like, well, how dare you?
Jamie the cleaner just said something that I should probably highlight. Brian, I feel bad that I didn't send you one, but I felt that it was kind of inappropriate because of the fact that you're doing your BC line now, and therefore you have no need for boom. It's here. It's real.
Yes.
Dun, 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 dun.
I am going to polish off the coating that I have on my car right now, and I'm going to put that on it tomorrow.
Oh, you had me at hello.
I need to add it to the collection.
You think so? I mean, if you want it, I'd be more than happy to send it to you. But I was just like, he's doing BC8, he's doing BC9, BC7. Like, who can compete with BC7? So, but I'm really, really proud of the Kronos V2. Chelsea was very instrumental in helping me hone it to where we wanted it to be. Super easy to apply. We had Nacho Man in mind, so that it had a nice flash to it. Yeah, I'm really, really excited. And we did all the torture tests, and it holds up like a beast. So
I look forward to it.
All right. Well, then I'll get it in your hands. I guess we'll have to come up for lunch on Friday. I'll bring it to you on Friday. We'll do lunch. We'll do lunch.
It's exciting. Yes, I am excited to put it on the car.
I'm excited to hear what you have to say. I'm excited to hear what Jamie has to say, since he has a very critical eye, and I appreciate that about him. Absolutely. And when we get that new surfactant in the Hydra, you better not be giving me some PNS nonsense. I want to hear a real review, and not a I'm in somebody's back pocket review.
You have to say
Jamie, looking at you.
Say PNS slow enough. I almost said that in the video at least twice.
Right? I think here's the thing. Remember, now we said that we were never going to bash mom and pop small business company, but now that they've been bought out by like a big corporation, we can talk as much trash as we want on any big corporation. You're allowed to talk as much trash as you want, because we're not going to impact their bottom line in any way, shape, or form, especially with less than 350 subscribers. So go ahead and bash high tech all you want. Adams, Turtle Wax, go nuts. Go to town. Get him. Never trust the man with a soul patch. Looking at you, Adams. Anyway. Well, Joey, we got to get you the new stuff, Joey. And also, Joey, I think we're lining you up for September if you're available. We're going to get you on the show in September without your counterpart, because I think he, I think he holds you back. There, I said it. Looking at you, Eddie. I'm just throwing haymakers. This is hour 2. I'm allowed to drink on a Saturday night.
Let me add that in there.
What exactly is Car Week?
I don't know.
And listen, I'm excuse me. I'm never going to bash somebody for trying to make a buck. I give Papa Smurf a hard time all the time. Every time he does a product review that's not a Phoenix product, I give him a hard time. But it's like, hey man, like, I'm just busting your stones, bashing moms. Wow, how was your mom? She was a rough shit. Wow. Well, you know what?
And you were just going to say all the nice things about him.
I was going to say some really nice things about it, but now I'm not. There you go. Looking for a good you voted for. There. All right. Huh? The gloves are off, Papa.
All right.
Shame on you. Shame on you. Mrs. Burkett is a saint. A saint. Kidney punch.
Oh,
yep, that's how we roll here. Sorry, Brian. Sorry to drag you. As the Godfather, Brian, we shouldn't be subjecting you to this kind of childishness.
Leave the mothers out of this.
But at the same time, you are a horseman, so it's to be expected. I feel like we've derailed. Where were we?
So, Brian, your new product is the BC9, yeah?
Yes.
That's the new one? And that's going to take over for BC3?
It will be another option. So there's going to be 2 options then. The BC8 and BC9 will be 2 that you can put in its place for when we don't have it on the menu.
Now, do you have any hopes of being able to restore BC2, or is it pretty much? I mean, I know better than anybody the supply chains, as of late, have been absolutely atrocious. So.
Yep.
I feel your pain for not being able to get BC2. So I didn't know if it was just going to be like we're just going to retire it because it's just too much of a hassle to you know.
I'm still hopeful, but you know we're kind of almost moving on at this point. And what's so disappointing is, you know, the version 2 took care of the gelling that some had. And by the way, I even have a test bottle of the first version still sitting back there with the sprayer in it, and I've never had that gelling problem. So it was tough to figure out. Took a little bit of time, but version 2 took care of that, and now because of supply issues, there's no version to offer at the moment, which really sucks.
It does suck. But you know what? It was, again, the relationship that you and I have. It was unbelievably upstanding of you to tell your customers that Immortal is available, which is the, you know, the counterpart to the BC2. So again, the way that you've always supported Phoenix, I am and always will be eternally grateful to you.
Well, I mean, it's a no-brainer. It's not, you know, when somebody comes to me for, you know, advice where they can pick something up that's similar, you know, selfishness goes out the window. I wanted to steer them right to something that I had confidence in, and that was a no-brainer there.
I think I just declared war with Eddie, and I didn't mean to. I was just teasing. So. I was just teasing. It wasn't me. It was the booze talking. I hit because I care.
Brian, did I hear earlier you were saying something about tire coating?
Oh, that's on the list. It's on the short list. You know,
short
one
list.
that actually, yeah.
Yeah.
I like my tires a new looking, maybe a little bit of a sheen. I don't like the glossy look slinging up on the side of the panel, but I also want it to last more than just a few washes as well.
Right. That's exciting.
Monterey Car Week. Are you familiar with any of that, Brian?
No.
It's a California thing.
Oh, I see. All right. Well, we're at 9:30. Let's give something else away. What do you want to give away? Nothing nearly as crazy as you know, sitting at the
as a date with Brian. No, not Brian, at all.
He buys you breakfast and he buys you lunch.
No, and you get to text him whenever you want, and you get to hang out all the time.
Talk about. Woo. Woo. He gives you the inside phone number, not the business line. Wow, look at you.
No, that's a serious thing right there. All right, so what are we giving away?
Well, I mean, you're a big fan of the Kraken. I think
I love me some Kraken.
You had a Kraken unveil or unboxing this week, so why don't we give away a Kraken kit?
Okay.
You know, basically, Kraken is the 16-ounce bottle of concentrate, and then it comes with a bottle and a dilution chart so that you can make it as strong or as gentle as you would like it. Release the Kraken. Exactly. So let's do that. Let's get some Kraken, shall we? Let's get some Kraken. I'd rather Apex BC3. Wow. Look at that guy. Like, you know, I mean, he throws punches all day long. In the moment that a little poke back, it's all, I'm going to burn Phoenix to the ground. It's so sad. It's so sad. I thought we were closer than that, Eddie. I thought we were.
Eddie's just all about the shots fired.
Shots fired. Kraken is lacking. What? Eileen, I think that you should take that as a personal.
It is, because that's like my thing right there. I have it in my coffee every morning for breakfast.
What does he say? Brown got to stick together? I forget what his big thing is.
Not with Eddie. No,
not
with Eddie.
Not with Eddie. All right. Anyway, let's give away some Kraken. What do you want? What's the trivia question?
Right.
Joey, we're gonna have you on in September. We're gonna have you on in September, Joey.
What?
I want to get the behind the scenes on Joey.
What? Okay. What were the two? I have a question. What were the two items that Aaron mentioned earlier that will have V2?
Oh. The surfactant added to it.
Versions.
Yeah.
Coming up.
Down with the brown. Yeah. So which Kronos and Titan?
I mean, I guess you could say 3 then if you add.
No, we're changing the surfactant in two of the products, and it's making it crazy. Close.
Not Kronos, because we know Kronos is already.
There you go. Sky Ritchie, Apex Soap, and Hydra. I know what you're trying to do. Look at it. He was typing so fast to get in there that it just
autocorrect screwed him up.
But yeah, we figured it out. We deciphered it. I didn't need my AI girlfriend to tell me what he was trying to say.
What's her name again?
None of your business.
I have to go back and listen. I have to listen to it again because you said it.
I didn't say it.
Yeah, you did. No. Her name was. Yeah, you said her name was.
I want to say Papa Smurf.
Tracy or something.
No.
I gotta go back and listen to it.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So Sky Ritchie, send me an email. Aaron@phoenixeod.com. It's at the bottom. Show was off. You're supposed to keep the show on the rails, not off the rails.
That was too great.
My gosh!
Not to throw
right. By the way, they're all the comments are correct. You didn't even hesitate. You were like, "Boom! That's it.
Yeah.
That's the number one." Oh, you mean other than this, as opposed to...
We found much more than that.
Yeah. Eileen? Who did we interview that found a gun? I forget. Somebody found a gun under the seat. That would have been exciting.
Was it Matt?
Matt Ayers? It might have been Matt. I mean, he does live in Arizona. It's kind of a shoot on sight kind of state.
Could have been him.
Pegasus and Poseidon. We don't even have a Poseidon yet. That might be a good name for the tire dressing. Poseidon. I think
it was Extra Mile.
It's possible. Yeah, so super. Al agrees with you. Yeah, it's crazy. All right, so yeah, send me Sky. Send me an email, Aaron at Phoenix. Tell me your shipping address, and we'll get you a Kraken kit out on Monday. Are you gonna white label Next Level, Aaron? I wouldn't be opposed to collaborating with a guy like that. Again, being able to talk to Jim and kind of get a better understanding of just kind of the character that he is and who he is.
Jim's a great guy.
I think that he would fit very well into this community. It's a shame that we had to meet on the battlefield. I think that he's the kind of dude that I would get along with. I think we walked away from that phone call conversation with a mutual respect for each other. So, I mean, he bought something from me, I bought something from him, and it's all gravy. White labeling is a dirty word, EC Details. I mean, you probably would be familiar with it since you're one of those PNS guys, being under the umbrella of high tech and 3D and all of that. I mean, like, I'm not really sure exactly what you would consider to be white labeling, but like Brian and I, would you say that Brian is white labeling anything from Phoenix, or Phoenix is white labeling anything from the BC line, because we collaborate with each other, because Brian has helped me formulate the Hydra and other products? Would you say that that's white labeling, or would you say that's collaborating? Because I say it's collaborating. And if Brian learns something from what I'm doing in my warehouse, and I'm learning something from what Brian's doing in his warehouse, I think everybody wins at the end of the day. So, love you long time. I can't do it. I can't do it. It doesn't have a Greco-Roman theme to it, and then it just opens up the door to all kinds of nonsense. Well, good, because I like his stuff too. I do. I think the BC line is fantastic, and I love collaborating with Brian, and I love picking his brain about stuff, and I definitely am in love with his BC4 and BC5, for sure. And I haven't even gone into that realm, but if I do, I'm definitely going to pick Brian's brain on his BC4 and his BC5. I think those are great products. Just my 2 cents. Brian, you're awfully quiet. You're just watching the comments, watching this fight. He's just watching this fight, talking about stuff.
He's enjoying the battle.
Absolutely. And when we're collaborating, we're testing raw materials and see what behavior they have and what could be changed, what can be improved. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah, for sure. What's the matter, Eileen? I don't like all the silence. You're usually a lot better at filling the void.
The void right now. The void right now. It's been a hot day.
All right. So maybe we'll take the show. We'll make it a little bit shorter than we normally do. Normally we do these epic 3-hour marathons. Yeah, you know what, Brian? That's a good question. I know that you were dabbling and you were talking about doing a compound, again, fitting into the bookends of your ceramic line. I know that you had talked about dabbling in polishes and maybe a compound to do the paint correction step before you get to the actual ceramic coatings. So that's not a bad question.
Yeah, and I want to fill out all of the protectants first before I get into prep for all the coatings.
Okay.
But
so what else do you have left to coat? I know you got the rims and the wheels to do.
Yeah, leather. I mean, leather, plastics. I want to be able to have options for every single material, upholstery. I want to be able to help somebody pick something to protect any material on a vehicle inside or out, and then we can get to expand into, the chemicals that can help prep. Maybe shampoos and polishes. I'm not worried about that yet because there's much to do. There's a lot of testing involved. I mean, I certainly don't rush anything out. If it takes months or years to get the testing done, that's how it goes.
Yeah. All right. So how long till BC9's ready to rock and roll?
Either next week or the week after.
All right. That's exciting.
Okay.
I will have a video done to show exactly what it does and all the ways you can utilize it.
That's awesome.
I yield. I yield already. I yield. All right. Listen, they have deeper pockets than I do. I'm just a tiny fish trying to survive in the ocean. I mean, you guys can throw all the guns at me that you want. Like I'm just kind of.
Just got word from the top.
Yeah, I'm just kind of trucking along. I'm sorry. Like, first and foremost, anybody that names their company, like when you have a child, you go through like this back and forth with whoever you're having this child with about how they can completely mangle your name in school. And so you don't name your children certain names because they're going to get completely destroyed at the lunch table, right? And I think going into something like this, like we spent a lot of time coming up with Phoenix. Like, how are you going to bash Phoenix? It's named after a city. There's a basketball team. I think Phoenix is safe, and then we can, add something to it to set us apart. Apex, obviously, nobody's taking shots at Apex because there's nothing that you can really say about the top of the mountain, right? But when you name something PNS. You're opening yourself up to maybe a couple shots, and again, I want to be perfectly clear. I didn't say anything until they went corporate. I didn't say anything until they got bought up by a bigger monster, and now it's kind of like the safety caps are off. You can talk as much trash as you want about giving yourself giving your money to some big corporation that doesn't pay their fair share. Whatever. I don't know. This is getting off the rails very quickly. The point of the line is, I got 3 guys in this chat room that are on board with a certain company that I decided to take a pot shot at, and now it's just not ending. I am so penis E.O.D. I don't believe that's. I mean, if they want to buy me out, we can have that conversation. But
I think we need more videos on rehab. I think that's a fan. I'm not a huge fan of the PNS products, but rehab, to me, I burn through that bottle in no time. It's fantastic.
What does rehab do?
Well, it's a correction fluid, and especially on today's surfaces, it does a great job. It does everything that I would expect. Very happy with rehab.
Okay. And you use that as a one-step?
I use it. Yeah, we can use it for anything. Enhancement, one step. You can surround yourself with a myriad of pads, from wool to cutting microfiber, and do your cut. You don't need to do that much anymore. Or just have a 50-50 pad or some finishing foam pads. You're set with rehab. Good stuff.
You know, I think we take a lot of shots, or at least I take a lot of shots, you know, at different companies and whatnot. But I got to be honest with you, there are, you know, I mean, a lot of companies have done things really, really well. And it's important, you know, in the nature of competition, in the name of being better, in the name of evolving, to have companies that put out really, really good products like this rehab. You know, I go out and I'll buy it, or I'll go on Amazon and I'll buy it, and then it's a good measuring stone to go up against. Like, all right, well, this is something that they do very, very well, and you know, guys that have a lot of significance in the industry, such as yourself, Brian, if they are using it, you know me from the very beginning. It's like, well, what are you using when the cameras are off? And that's kind of where I go hunting. I look for, you know, what are really, really good, accomplished detailers using when the cameras are off, and then I go after that. Like, all right, well, you know, what can we do better to make our product better? You know, like as far as the rentless is concerned, you know, obviously we're going back to the drawing board to make it better. And you give me names of the competition that is doing it better. You know, and that's the only way that we're going to evolve. That's the only way that we're going to get better is going after, you know, a company's product that does it better. You know what I mean? That's Brian. I think I already know.
Yeah, Smoke 67 has a great question. What we think about graphene infused products? Listen, me personally, anything graphene, borphene, triphene, quadphene goes in the dumpster. Period. Does nothing for me. I don't. You, Aaron, what do you think about?
Yeah,
that?
I think you and I have talked. You and I have talked about this at length multiple times, and I've talked at length multiple times with my chemist about this. It's on paper, it's amazing. On paper, I can definitely see where there would be a benefit. Now, the actual scientific application of it, I'm going to say something that probably 99% of the detailing world does not know. But the graphene molecule is clear. Okay, this is science, and you can look it up, read a book. I don't care, but graphene molecule is clear. So any graphene product that you're buying that has got some sort of, you know, gray flaky nonsense in it is an additive that a company is adding to their product to give you the idea that there is graphene in it. I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. True graphene is clear. Fight me, I don't care. So right out of the gate, if a company, and again, being who I am and being what Phoenix is, being as transparent as we are, as soon as you start going down a path to trick your customer or do a gimmick to make your customer think it has something special added to it and blah, 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 you're immediately deceiving your customer. And I don't like that. Where we're at as far as the chemistry is concerned, I don't think that the graphene molecule, when it stacks with the polyxylazane molecule, I don't think the technology is there to really give you the added benefits that like a true graphene coating can give you. That would offset the cost. What I'm saying, I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze. So you could add the graphene, and it could, make, let's just say we add graphene to Kronos, and we could make Kronos with graphene, and it costs arbitrarily, let's say it costs twice as much. The benefit that you get from having this graphene added to Kronos, I don't think justifies the added cost that the consumer would have to pay to get that graphene. And if you're, you can, I'm not reading the comments, because like I've had this conversation so many times with like people that actually know what they're doing. I don't want to get confused by reading the comments. What I'm saying is graphene, the graphene molecule is clear, and I don't think that any benefit that you're getting from it at this stage in the technology is worth the cost increase to the actual product.
The only thing
I can give my input through what I've applied some of these products to, and when they've come back for maintenance or a checkup, and they do not outperform anything else really that's out there, and they're mostly always additive. They're an additive to something that has a foundation that you're relying on. If it's added to a ceramic coating, or it's infused with a titanium coating or polyxylazane, it's always that polyxylazane base or whatever that's doing the work. It's not the graphene in the maybe one day. Okay, the science just isn't there.
Right, I agree. But I mean, if you look at the molecule structure, and again, this is really hard to convey.
Hexagon lattice, you cannot take it from the bottle and put it on the face of a car with an applicator and form that lattice.
Agreed.
Agreed. Can't happen.
Agreed. And like I said, even if you can get some sort of graphene into that ceramic mixture, what little benefit it's going to give you does not justify the cost increase. And for me, for Phoenix, that's the whole reason why we went to the smaller bottles of Kronos. That's why we went to the smaller bottles of Immortal, was because we want to try to keep things as economic, especially moving forward. Like, I mean, we don't get political on this channel, but the economic future is really kind of in an uncertainty right now. And we're all just trying to make a living, and we're all just trying to put food on our tables. So if we can make it more economically friendly, that's what we're going to do. And I think by adding graphene and then the added cost to graphene for what you're actually getting the benefit out of it, if anything at all. I mean, they said that graphene is supposed to make certain coatings more chemically chemical resistant to certain chemicals. I don't know the science behind it. I'd be making a heck of a lot more money if I had the letters behind my name to quantify whatever I'm saying. But
with that said, always keep an open mind with the new stuff coming on the market. Like you just some small examples like the Revivify and your Icon rock layers and some of the other Teflon coatings. Me personally, I'll never work with a Teflon coating. I'll never work with a forever coating. There's a reason it's been on and off the market for detailers a few times. It's been around forever. But always keep an open mind. Weed out those products that push the morphine and all the fiends.
It's funny that you say that, Brian, because you remember, and this is going to stick with me for the rest of my life. You remember when you used to do the bracket challenges? Two products against two products, and then they would go to the next bracket. You did March Madness with products.
Exactly, the bracket.
Fusos. always won your paste wax every time. The paste wax challenge was Fusos, and it's a Teflon based tin wax.
Yep.
And it won every time.
Yep, absolutely. Always keep an open mind and at least try them for yourself, and maybe an application that you're using it for in your environment, they may pass the test for you. But there's a lot to weed out nowadays. A lot. I mean, it seems like every time you jump on Facebook, there's an ad popping up, and it's like, what is this stuff? Like this mesh that you rub against a panel, and it removes scratches all the way down to the metal, and it makes them look like a brand new car. I mean, there's a lot of scams out there.
Real fast before we answer Westcat's question, devil in the detail. I'm not saying that it's not a detriment. It's not.
It's not going to hurt.
It's not going to hurt anything. I think if you're comparing apples to apples, I don't think that the graphene.
May I ask what he's using? What's the product? What's the graphene added to? May I ask that?
Sure, of course. Devil's in the detail. What graphene product are you referring to first and foremost? I guess. Fuso fluorine. I don't know.
Polymer.
I don't know. Anyway, all right. So going back to that question by Westcat, what are your thoughts on applying in circles versus crosshatch? I was told always to do the crosshatch because you have the least amount of missing something by doing the crosshatch.
Yeah, but I mean, the product doesn't care how it gets on the panel. It's up to if you can do it in circular motions and make sure that you're hitting all the spots. It's fine. I've done it both ways.
303 DIY 3-year and Adams Advanced Graphene Spray is what Devil in the Detail is referring to.
Okay, I'm going to just guess that the foundation of that product is probably SiO2 or polysilazane or maybe a
Yeah.
3-year. Okay, so DIY 3-year is a mix of 3 different things: titanium, polysilazane, and graphene. So that's just thrown in there. I mean, I'm not going to say it doesn't change a characteristic or two, but that's not the strength of that coating.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not saying that graphene is going to be detrimental. I will say that when we were first testing, this is fun. When we were first testing Kronos with graphene, before I knew the science behind it, before I knew everything, and it was basically just anyway. Every once in a great while, especially on a certain black vehicle, I want to say it was a Ford. It might have been it was a Ford Raptor. It was a black Ford Raptor. It had the graphene coating added like this weird. It's not a high spot, but it was almost like an optical distortion, basically where where you were overlapping. You do a 2-foot section and then another 2-foot section. Where those two sections overlap, it kind of had like this weird transitional. Again, it wasn't a high spot. It wasn't like it was just like this weird. You remember back in the early 90s, they had those posters that you could stare at. It was all just a bunch of like spots, and you stare at it, and then you could see a sailboat in the background. And you let your eyes unfocus. Do you remember those? It was kind of like that. It was like if you stared at this one spot on the truck long enough, you could kind of see this weird distortion. And that's why we put Kronos graphene to bed immediately. As I was like, if it happens to one person, it's going to happen to everybody. So, trying to wrap up some of these stars. Brian, vinyl wrap residue. How would you remove it? Pro Strength Goo Gone didn't touch it, and I don't have Citrusol 266.
Is there any way you can get a hold of Rapid Remover? We get that by the gallon here too. It's quick.
Rapid Remover. Where would you locate it? Like
Amazon.
Amazon. There you go. All right, Papa Smurf. Amazon Rapid Remover. Bump, bump, bump. Brian, any used car dealerships ever want you to spray paint the carpets black?
Oh yeah, they even wanted to supply the stuff, the tan, black, brown. Yeah, that's so. I mean, with the carpets, you can get them clean. That the steamer or the extractor is you're pulling water out that's clear, but the fiber is still going to be dyed because of the whatever was introduced of it. It dyed the fiber. There's no way you can remove that. So
Yeah.
they often had me do that. Absolutely. And that's one way we got started, is taking in all the cars that were traded into a used car dealership, and they were nasty.
All right.
Yep.
Jamie's seen it, so I mean, you know, again, Jamie being one of the go-to guys that I call him on a regular basis when I encounter something weird. If he's seen it, so for me, and this is probably just how, I don't know, insecure I am, but the way that I feel about my products is if one or two people are encountering it, more than one or two people are going to encounter it, and that's when I start to back off or question things or ask, you know, especially people that I rely on to be my beta testers and stuff like that. So it was, you know, Ryan over at Waxworks down in Franklinville, when we were testing the graphene Chronos. It didn't happen, like I said, it didn't happen all the time, and it didn't happen to all the cars. It just happened every once in a while to this particular, certain black vehicles. And Jamie just, you know, reinforces that with the Black Challenger. It's this overlap pass march. It's weird. It's like you know, you can't feel a difference. You can't see a difference. It's just there.
If graphene was able to do what it can do for the space agencies and that industry, you wouldn't still have other people coming out with the Borafine and the Revivify and the Icon Rockulator. I mean, it's just common sense.
Right. This was a question asked early on, but it's a good question. Brian, I mean, obviously you're always trying to learn the next cutting edge of technology. What would be, do you have any YouTube channels that you watch on a regular basis? I mean, other than Curmudgeon's Corner on a bi-monthly basis, do you have any channels that you watch on the regular?
A ton of channels, but they have nothing to do with detailing. Probably about 10% of it has to do with detailing. And most of that is to check in on technique of how the video is shot and how it's performed, to be quite honest.
Sure. Oh. You know, when I used to do SEMA every year. And one of the years that we went out to SEMA, one of the cool aspects of SEMA, besides, you know, the cars and walking the show floors and stuff like that, is that it's packed with all these little seminars all the time. And, you know, it's basically every half hour on the hour, you can go to a different classroom and learn from the industry's best of the best. And we went into a social media, how to boost your business via social media. And it was run by the vice president of Instagram at the time. I don't know if she's still in charge or not, but she said the number one searched thing on YouTube is how to. So if you're looking to boost your sales or your views and things of that nature, be putting out how-to videos, because that is the number one searched item in all of Google/YouTube is how to change the air filter of a 2013 Nissan Pathfinder, how to apply a ceramic coating appropriately, how to do any of that stuff. So
yeah, and there's no wrong answer when it comes to these channels. I mean, if you're in the interiors, you know, like the detail geek or Stoffers, or like with pressure washers, I forget the name of the gentleman on the West Coast. He does a fantastic job with that. I mean, you can pick nuggets from every single channel, no matter how small or how large. So again, just keep an open mind.
This one here, Aaron, Brian, are you guys big fans of adding toppers or detail sprays on coated cars, or just straight to drying?
Well, when they're still wet, adding them when they're still wet, and then like for a drying aid, I just dry the car and then apply the topper as I would a detailer and get it over with that way.
Okay.
No, I love detail sprays on coated cars. You know, and again, Devil, you're talking about a very broad umbrella of a question. A topper can be Titan. A topper can be Immortal. A topper can be BC3. It can be BC2. It can be BC8. Yeah, but the thing is that I'm a big fan of that, because they're always just adding a little bit of protection, and as far as even coated cars, they require a maintenance, and anytime that you're aiding to that maintenance, I think is a good thing. In my opinion, having a coated car, but every time I wash it, I use Titan as a drying aid. Just gives it a little extra gloss, gives it a little extra boost in the hydrophobics. I don't think you can go wrong with that at all, in my opinion.
All right, this one here, Brian. Removing paint on plastic side mirrors, overspray, or from paint. How can I bring the color back after?
And the color of the plastic is black, I take it.
Let's assume it's black.
Yeah.
Well, if they're discolored, you can use the solution finish and bring back the color using that, and then protect it. I like to use solution finish in a two-phase. Back in the day, used to have black pearl too. I was in contact with that owner. I don't know, like he wanted to make changes to it, and then I kind of saw the product disappear. But those two products there kind of went down and restored the plastic to a molecular level, and almost dyed it. Wait for that to cure, putting on top of that.
In terms of removing the paint, though, I'm assuming that you could use solution finish once you've removed any of the paint or residue. But how would you remove the paint? How would you recommend moving it?
The paint from plastic.
Yeah.
You can't use a stripper. I mean, that's a tough one. Sanding is probably going to be the best way to do it.
And then using a refinishing product like solution finish or something like that after.
Yeah, that's going to be tough. That's it's going to be a tough chore.
Yeah. Eddie, just buy a new mirror.
Right. Yeah. All right. So, hey, Mike G. No, I don't think any of us are anti-graphene. I think that we're at this stage of technology in graphene. I think that we are hesitant. Again, it's about the juice being worth the squeeze, and right now, I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze. I think the technology is obviously going to be continued to be worked on. I think that eventually you are going to have hopefully a perfect marriage between polyxylazane and graphene, but just where we're at right now, I don't think it's there yet. And I think Brian's in the same camp as me. I don't want to
for me, if you can do this, you could take your favorite coating with graphene in it and say it is DIY. If you take the graphene from that formula, it's not going to perform. Absolutely. It's going to perform just about the same. It may be some small changes to the characteristics. I'm not against it. Exactly. I can just do it without it personally.
Exactly. And, I mean, if at some point there is this breakthrough that it adds, an extra layer of chemical resistance, it adds an extra layer of UV protection, it adds an extra layer of just even because of the design of the molecule, the hexagonal design of the molecule. If at some point they're able to actually stack and make, they say the strongest structure in the natural world is the honeycomb, which is a hexagonal structure built upon each other. I mean, it is incredibly strong. If they were able to get that technology to actually work the way it was, whereas right now you have one molecule to one molecule ratio, where this molecule is not stacking with its hexagonal brothers and sisters. It's just kind of hanging out there by itself. So it's not adding really anything that a true graphene, like you said, layering would do for you. It's not doing that right now. If we can ever get that to stack, then that's a whole different ball game. So I'm not
anti-graphene. If any of these materials would be worth the money and the energy and the research, I would have already had them in the coatings that I provide, because I want my customers and those that are able to order the product, the blue collar line, I want them to have the best. If it would do anything besides just slightly change the characteristics is the best way I could put this. They would already be in the blue collar line. I don't know how to put that.
I guess Eddie's still looking for. So how do you? This is here. How do I? Yeah, it's black. How do I remove it? How do I?
You don't. You take it. You take it off the car, and you go to eBay, and you find another one, and you put the new one back on.
You know, there was a product that we used to sell at my old company, and I forget what it's called, but obviously you can probably get it from anybody that does B&B stuff. But it almost was like a bed liner paint that we would use. I think it was called Forever Black and Forever Gray, I think is what it was called. But it would almost be like it was like a dye / paint. And remember like all the Jeep vehicles and all their plastics would turn to gray. The bumpers would turn gray. Everything on a Jeep would turn gray in the sunlight. You could always paint it with this Forever Black that would make it. It would look black again.
I have a version of that. I think it's called ECI, and it's peelable too.
It's peelable, yeah. So I mean that might be a solution. You might, Eddie, you might just have to dye it black again, or kind of.
I can almost guarantee by the time you're finished putting all that time into it, you could have taken the 3 nuts or bolts off the back and swapped it out from something from Easy Pull.
Okay.
Possibly.
What about? Legend has it you used to be able to use a blowtorch to bring faded plastics back. Is there any truth to that?
Well, we use a heat carefully from a butane to remove small imperfections from interior plastics. I don't like to show that because you really have to be. There's a lot of liability there. You can ruin plastic quickly. Yeah, you have to have a touch for that. It's a skill to acquire, but you can improve. You can't make it disappear, but you can improve plastics with the heat.
I got a question for you, and this might be something that I mean, obviously, I'm dabbling into the unknown here. There is a product out there that's called polyelastomer coatings. Polyelastomer coatings.
Isn't that what Plastidip is?
Is that what?
Isn't that what Plastidip is?
It might be. I don't know. I know that it looks like there's a Nero ceramic coating, Carbon Collective, that makes it, and then there's another one that we were looking at called Heal or something like that. But basically, it's kind of a ceramic coating that's self-healing. And I don't know if you've heard of it or if you've dabbled in it, but the way that it was explained to me is you put down your ceramic coating and then you put this stuff over the top of it, and it creates kind of like a self-healing protective layer. And it was almost described to me as almost like a really, really, really super thin latex type of clear coat over the top of an existing coating. I don't know what the life expectancy is. Again, this is all brand new, but I'm intrigued by it. And if it works, I want to be a part of it. What do you think? Thoughts, Brian?
I would try it in a heartbeat.
For real? Yeah. It sounded a lot like the PPF stuff that you're using now, that self-healing PPF.
Yeah, I mean, there's a sprayable version that we're working into the shop of PPF. You can eliminate the lines, and makes for a lot cleaner install, and it's great for mirrors that are a pain in the ass, and some of the other high tension areas. You just spray it on there.
I'll send you.
The thing is, then you got to invest in a booth, and you have to have your place, surgical.
Well, good thing you have a brand new huge warehouse that you can do all that stuff in.
Yeah, you can get a booth in there.
Yeah, I was just told about it yesterday. So I mean, like this is cutting edge for me. I'm trying to keep my finger on the pulse, but yeah, a self-healing coating. What an amazing thing that would be. But again, they were very implicit that it does get used in conjunction with another coating, because it doesn't have that longevity that you would get out of like a Chronos or a BC 7 or BC 1. But you put the coating down first, and then you put this self-healing stuff on there, and it just I'm kind of I'm intrigued for sure. Guess what, kids? We've crossed the 2-hour mark. Boop 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 boop.
Amazing.
2-hour threshold. That's good. Right, mission accomplished. Yay. So we got to give away something else. Yeah, Playa uses it. It's all been stacking. Yeah. Chris, I don't know anything about that. Go for 3. I don't know if I have 3 hours in the tank. It has been a brutal week. Not nearly as brutal as Eileen's. I know that it was 110 in the warehouse earlier this week.
Oof.
Yeah. When I was testing the new soap, I had like 3 different versions of it. And what was really cool is I was testing the new soap. I was outside in that heat, and I was on the phone with Papa Smurf while we were doing it, and he was like, "Let it dry completely. Let the soap dry on the on the car, and then see if we can reactivate it and see what happens, what it looks like." And so we let it dry and we let it bake 110 degrees on Wednesday. We let it bake on the car. It completely dried, and then we rehydrated it and rinsed it off, and it left 0 spotting, 0 watermarks.
That's awesome.
I'm very, very excited. And Eileen, I was thinking of you the whole time. I'm like, she's in the desert. She's going to get baked. And if I can provide her with a soap that doesn't will behave the way it's supposed to behave, even if it dries up on her, like, you get in a phone call, you're talking to the customer or whatever. And then what? I'm so excited to get this soap into your hands.
Yeah.
I'm hoping. That's
gonna be amazing.
The way that, fingers crossed, the raws will ship on Monday. I should get them by Wednesday or Thursday, which means I should be able to have it made at least by midnight Thursday night, and then Friday I'll be able to ship it out to all kinds of people. So awesome. I'm very, very excited about that. And if I can, not to throw shade at anybody, but Dee Dee's in the house, and I know that Dee Dee is on Team Phoenix. I can say this: the first year that Pan the organizer reviewed my soap during the best of, I think it was like best of 2022. He said that my soap came in second place to Car Pro Reset. And he was saying that it was just splitting hairs. It was, we're just kind of just the nuances. And I came in second place. So we changed the formula, and we made our soap better, which is how Apex 2.0 came about, because of Pan the organizer. And we submitted the new soap to Pan. And in 2023, the best of 2023, it came in second place again to Car Pro Reset. And everybody, especially Dee Dee was awesome. Dee Dee was like, we changed the formula. They didn't do anything, and we're still coming in second place. Like, I think something's not quite something. Yeah, she did. It was awesome. Something's not quite right in the state of Denmark.
It's because it's Car Pro. That's why.
I know. We all know.
Yeah.
We all know why things go. We all know why P&S is at the top of some people's lists. We all know why Car Pro is at the top of some people's lists. We get it. But in a fair and equal world, if somebody is evolving or dying, and they still do, and you're splitting hairs, and we still don't make number one, something ain't right. But anyway, so now with this new soap,
maybe it's the scent.
With this magical secret ingredient that we're putting into it, I am so stupid excited for this soap. And if I get ranked second place to anybody with this new soap, then you're on the take. You're on the take, and I don't take. You're on the take. I'm over it. So yeah, and
I can't wait to use it.
Because I know what the secret ingredient is. Now I'm adding it to the Hydra, and we're making some changes. E.O.D. baby, Phoenix is evolving, and I can't. Brian, I got to get it in. Bottom line is, Brian, on Friday, if I can get up for lunch, get up to your place for lunch, I'll bring you some soap. I'll bring you the new Chronos.
And you mentioned self-healing coatings earlier. I have two. I have one from Nero and Fein Lab. I'll play around, show you how. The problem with them, I'm still testing them because just like PPF, which has a self-healing layer, paint protection film has a 12-year warranty, but that self-healing characteristic fades out quickly after the second and third year. And I'm trying to see if that happens with the coating too. The coating keeps going for the 5, 6, 7, or whatever year it is. But that self-healing characteristic fades out rather quickly.
Yeah, that's what Ryan was saying. He's like, you're probably going to have to apply it over the course of your baseline foundation of ceramics. You're probably going to have to reapply the self-healing stuff multiple times.
Yeah.
The Big Lebowski. Well, that's like your opinion, man. It's such a great cult classic movie. Hey, HM, I think it might exist. I don't know. All right. The bottom line is it involves heat. They're saying the self-heat, like it doesn't just like you pull it into your garage and like the Incredible Hulk, it regenerates.
No, it's not that type of.
It's heat that kind of melts everything back to normal. Like.
And it can only heal the most, just the lightest of abrasion. Hides it basically, just like when you hide imperfections, introducing heat to clear coat. The next day you come back out and you see the hazing again. I mean, that's kind of what you're doing.
All right. So what do you say we give away a brand new bottle of Apex 3.0 when it comes in? So obviously whoever wins this is not going to get it shipped immediately on Monday. We'll probably ship it towards the end of the week. But I think that we should give away a bottle of the Apex 3.0, even though we're not officially calling it Apex 3.0 because that just becomes a marketing nightmare. Everybody who's watching the Curmudgeon's Corner at 2 hours and 17 minutes into the show, everybody and anybody that wants to be in the know is here, and you're my friends and you're my family, and so therefore everybody gets a chance to be on the cutting edge of the Apex 3.0, not called 3.0. Pick me. Yeah. Well, J Farm 13. I hope that I hope you know your Apex surface protection trivia. Brian, what do you want to give away? I mean, do you have any trivia questions you want to ask?
Let me see here.
I mean, I have one at the top in the back of my head. I have one I could just fire out, and it'll be soon as you. Yeah. All right. Everybody and anybody that's been watching the show, what is BC4? What is it? What does it do? Go. BC4. We all get a bottle. Thank you, Oprah. And you get a bottle, and you get a bottle. It is a glass sealant. A glass sealant. Westcat, you win. You were close, Ghost, with the glass coating, but it is a sealant. The BC5 is the coating.
Correct.
BC4 is the sealant. Bum, bum, bum. Westcat, I know that you have my email because we've been talking a couple of times this week, but if you don't remember, go ahead and send me your shipping information to Aaron at phoenixeod.com for a brand new bottle of Apex 3.0.
I have a hard one I'd like to throw in there. I don't know. Do you have anything else you want to give away tonight?
How about we giving away another bottle of Apex 3.0 since it's so super awesome?
Okay. So I have, all right, throughout I started.
Unless you want to give away something. You're allowed to give away whatever you want as well. If you want to give away like a PC.
This is another big one here because this might be hard unless you've been with the channel through its inception.
Oh boy.
I think I started the channel 5-6 years ago. How many shops have I been in through the Inception.
Oh,
snap! That's a good one. I know. I think I know.
The winner gets BC 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
The kitchen sink? You're throwing in a BC kitchen sink?
If I have two, I'll throw two in there, but I can't make promises on that.
Do you see any of the numbers? I got a 4, a 3, a 6, an 8, a 4, a 4, a 3, a 5.
What's the number?
He has it right there. 4.
All right, so yeah, Ghost got it right out of the gate. That's what I said. That was the number I had in my head. All right, so X6M Ghost, you get a BC kitchen sink. Send me your information to Phoenix at E.O.D, and I'll forward it on to Brian, and his new office/shop supervisor can get that out to you right away. Congratulations, sir. Appreciate that.
Congrats.
Awesome.
26. All right. Well, I mean, what else you want to talk about tonight? I mean, we can wrap. Oh, there is something I want to tell you. So he also earlier in the show he requested, Brian, can I request a video from you showing how to properly polish curves? I haven't been able to find anything good showing the process of polishing.
Oh, absolutely.
Curves.
Yeah, I know I showed it, but it wasn't in a dedicated video. It was covering something else, and I slid that in there. And I do show that during the training sessions as well. But I'd be happy to. And while we have
again, Brian, how-to videos are the most searched for search engine in all of that stuff. So if you did a how to properly polish curves, and according to Ghost, there's nothing out there, you could have the market on how to polish a curve. Boom.
Consider it done.
There you go.
Very nice.
Podcast War of 20. Jamie, between you and the Keep It Real podcast, like, it's not even a competition. Are you kidding me? Like,
it's all love.
I think we just celebrated Eddie's 5,000 subscriber anniversary. That's I don't even have 500. What are you talking about? There's no war. I'm Poland and you're Germany, 1938. Okay, like, just saying. You went across me in 12 days without any resistance at all. However, I will say that I've gotten more than one email or DM about how the Cleaner Cast and the Keep It Real podcast is one big podcast split between 2 days. I didn't say it; those aren't my words. I'm just saying that's what I was told.
They're awesome podcasts.
Oh, Tim, I would appreciate that, but I would say the subscriber number says differently, just a little bit. But we are an official podcast. We are on all the cool streaming services that you can get. I just uploaded the birthday bash this weekend.
I saw that one. I got
a link to that to any of those podcasts that go on there, and I'll put that in the description box of the videos on the YouTube channel.
I appreciate that. Brian, I don't know if you got the alert when you signed on, but you could be streaming this whole thing to your channel as well. Not that we wouldn't appreciate 100,000 subscribers looking at this show or anything. I mean, that's kind of like when Jamie and I are squabbling over, or I should say Eddie and I are squabbling over 5,000 subscribers versus 500 subscribers, and you have 100,000 subscribers. It kind of means nothing. You are the Godfather for a reason, and we love you for that. Tim, I appreciate that. I hope that these. That's why I don't like any kind of like long periods of silence, because I'd like to hope that you can put us on in the background. I know a couple of guys like Miller Detailing. He says that he'll stream it in the background while he's detailing. We get these long format episodes where hopefully you could learn something, be entertained. We have a good time, and just chill out. We don't try to take ourselves too serious. And enthusiasts, we appreciate you coming out. Brian is the GIAT. I mean the goat. The GIAT. Brian is.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. I got a notification from Spotify that the birthday bash was on there, so that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, there you go. See, like Brian Mayall, he's watching and doing GTA, no problem. See, learn a little, have some fun, drink some orange juice, maybe win some stuff. That's what we're all about. And again, all right. So as we are winding down the show, it's coming on 2.5 hours. I do want to make sure, Eileen, I'm going to kind of commandeer the show at this point to basically, I think that we really need to, promote the Pay It Forward campaign. This is the address to the warehouse. Every year we do, we try to take donations from the community and give that to somebody who needs a helping hand at the end of the year, especially around the holidays. We've made some really, really significant impacts in people's lives. So now that we are halfway through the year, I think it's important that we start really promoting the Pay It Forward campaign. It's the Phoenix Rise from the Ashes Pay It Forward campaign. Send donations to this address. It can be used products. It can be used shop supplies. It can be new shop supplies. Thank you, Humberto. Thank you to Hawaii Tim. Everybody that's been donating some money. Again, that money is going to be turned into like a gift card or something like that. We are not a charity that is set up to accept monetary donations just yet. I know that like last year we had some entries that were sent in about, somebody's garage burned to the ground and they could really use some money to help rebuild. We're not set up at that kind of a charity. My accountant almost choked me to death when I asked her about setting up a charity like that. So apparently there's some real hurdles when it comes to monetary donations. But we want to do the Pay It Forward campaign. I also want to stress that this community, the Phoenix family, and this, obviously you guys are not limited to the Phoenix Curmudgeon's Corner. You're in all of the social media groups. You're in everybody's DMs and things of that nature. There are a lot of people out here that are struggling. There are a lot of people out here that are having a tough time in just finding their way. The economy is what it is. Reach out to each other. If you haven't heard from somebody in a while, just send them a text message and say, "Hey, how are you? I'm thinking about you. You're not alone." It goes a long way. I know that there are a solid group of people in this chat right now that I hear from at least 2 or 3 times a week, just to make sure that, how's it going? How are you doing? Just want you to know that you're a part of something bigger than yourself. So we, as a family, the Phoenix family, we have to keep that in mind. Reach out to each other, support each other. Brian, you supported me. Brian, you are the reason for the Pay It Forward campaign. The way that you showed me how to be selfless for somebody else's benefit has been a true inspiration to me. It's true. And I mean, anybody that knows me as long as you've known me knows that is a true statement. You said, if you do it, I will support you in every way that I can. And you said, there's plenty for everybody to go around. And so I say that to Jim from Next Level. I say that to everybody in this community. We're in it for each other. And I mean, it's not a race. It's more of a movement, if you will.
Exactly. Those afar and those nearby, the detailers in my area, I support them, and I support the person on the West Coast, up in Alaska, Mexico, whoever I can reach. I'm happy to help when I can.
Yeah, I think that is a 100%. You emulate everything that you just said. I have never once heard you say, I've spent 20 years perfecting what I do, and therefore I'm not sharing that information with anybody else. It's always been, I spent 20 years perfecting what I'm doing. Let me show you how to do it. And I think that has been an inspiration to me. I think that's been an inspiration to everybody and anybody that's ever watched your channel. You have always been that guy to want to help other people. And I think that's, for me, that's something that I want to emulate, that I want to follow, and that I want to give homage to.
I'm happy to give information so people don't have to endure the pitfalls and the failures that I went through. And if I can give some information where somebody can bypass that off-ramp and keep on succeeding and moving forward, my gosh, I have no hesitation with that.
So, Brian, if somebody does have a question for you and wants to reach out to you on a more of a one-on-one private matter, how would they get a hold of you?
My information is out there. The phone numbers, emails, they're on the description box of the videos, and the information and address and phone numbers. It's there for everybody to see. All you gotta do is just.
Would you have you have something that I could throw up real fast as a banner?
MIRAGEBJS@yahoo.com.
Wow, that's your personal. That's wild. Wow, the Phoenix family should be honored that this guy is gonna give you that. That is the ear to the king right there, everybody. I mean, that is his personal email address that he gives to me. So I guess I'm just not that special anymore. All right, moving forward. What? What? All right. Speaking of Eileen, in order to get a hold of Eileen, she is as approachable as Brian. Here's her website, her IG. Make sure you follow her on Instagram. Make sure you follow her on her YouTube channel. She definitely she crossed that threshold that she needed to be entered into that contest, even though it was rigged, and she didn't get it. But we're still grateful that everybody subscribed to her YouTube channel. I want her to be as successful as Brian with 100,000 subscribers. Follow her on YouTube. Here's her YouTube channel. Again, Phoenix is always trying to make things as easy for the people as possible. So we do have a bunch of distributors across the nation. There is Adrian at IamDetailedAF.com is our West Coast distributor. If you're anywhere that side of the Rockies, make sure you reach out to Adrian. Our Midwest distribution is Fab Automotive Detailing, DetailSupplies.com. And our Southeast distribution is Titan Tim from Shine Your Light Detailing at shineyourlightdetailing.com/store. And then we also have some worldwide distributors. Chris from Carzilla, Carzilla.ca in the United Kingdom, into detailing.co.uk, Australia. Andrew, a very good friend. We talk a lot, which is crazy because he's in the future, a whole day in the future. I talk to Andrew on the regular at osprodetailing.com.au. And then, of course, you can always go to phoenix.com and use Eileen 10 for 10% off of everything site-wide. So I think that's just about it. I think we checked off all the boxes, talk to each other, make sure that everybody's healthy and wealthy and wise. If you need some supplies, you know where to go. Brian, you can get to the ear to the king by sending him an email at miragebjs@yahoo.com. Brian, thank you so very much. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, don't use it as a customer service email. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's what I saw in the comments. Someone said that.
Someone you said what?
Someone said don't use it as your customer service email, and also don't Google Mirage BJs because you might find something else.
That's right. So
it was a pleasure hanging out with all of you, and stay humble and full speed ahead, guys.
Thanks, Brian. Brian, if you can stick around for a few minutes after the show ends, I'd love to do a wrap up with you. We have a very exciting lineup for August. Wow, can you believe it's August already? It's August already. We have a great lineup for August. We got Mike G coming on at the end of August, but in 2 weeks, we're going to have a fan favorite and a good friend of Phoenix. Matt Ayers is launching a new podcast, and he's going to tell us all about it. What we decided to do was we're going to do a hybrid thing where we're going to do half of the show here at the Curmudgeon's Corner, and then we're going to roll everything over to his channel that he's starting. We're going to be the first episode of his channel, and he has a co-host that nobody knows who it is. It's going to be a surprise. Uh-oh. So we're going to get the entire Phoenix family to go over and support Matt Ayers and his co-host X's and O's with Matt Ayers and question mark. It's very exciting. Again, this is what this community is all about: supporting each other. We are not in competition with another podcast. We're not in competition with another company unless you're a big corporation, and then we're gonna come after you. But and I mean I mean that in a good way. Like, for example, when I wanted to be Griot's Garage, like that's who I want to be. It's family owned and operated. It's not a corporation. They do it all themselves. They have a facility large enough that they can make their own stuff. I think that's a good company to emulate. I don't know anything about their politics, so don't read too far into this. But anyway, I ramble when I start apple juicing.
Alrighty.
All right. So I guess that's it. Everybody, until again, 2 weeks, we're gonna have X's and O's. It's gonna be awesome. And then 2 weeks after that, we're gonna have Mike G, and it's gonna be amazing. Until then, everybody, we are so appreciative of you. Thank you so very, very much for being a part of Curmudgeon's Corner 32 on a Saturday night. Have a great night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Love you.